Well, we've got a cold figure which is staring at us, which shows that it has done a business of 16.5 crores in the weekend. It rose by 28% all over India, despite of the monster Jurassic Park breathing down our neck and two other big films, Indian films, Hindi films, running on the side by side. The very fact that it has risen from day 1 to day 3 screams out and says that the word of mouth is nothing short of a hurrah. Because in this landscape, where you learn, read, you prefer to listen to the boos of a handful of people, which perhaps represent a very minority view, is amplified as the verdict of the people. It would be false not to listen to the hurrahs which are coming from the people of India, which according to Mohit is that there is a divide of an India and a Bharat. There is a Bharat which comes in hordes, like yesterday in Nagpur, there were about 60% of people in a hall of 800 people who had come to see the 3 o'clock show. There are women going to Yotmal, a place called Yotmal, where they had stopped going. So the women folk for whom this film was made, who had disappeared from your radar, have embraced the film, and that is why the figures are moving from strength to strength.
I would actually call Hamari Adhuri Kahani a growth in my own career, I think, because never ever before have I been appreciated by a particular audience that this film has. I don't make, see, I'm not in the business of films. For me, making a film has an emotional experience, but I think every film gets its own audience out. I had no idea what audience I was getting into with Ashiki. I had no idea what I was getting with Villain, but I think what I've got with this film is people who have never really looked at me as a director also are finally looking at me that way. In fact, this film is doing well in places where we didn't market the film. That's probably the way they're talking about the film and they're making a connect. And I think these kind of films tend to have a permanent connect with the audience, because once you make them cry and you've touched them, they have a bond with you. You can't lose them. But these films have an everlasting bond. I think that's what he's enjoyed in his own career.
I was telling him, you know, when you touch a woman's heart in the cinema hall, you form a relationship with the person. But if you touch a man's heart, it's just a transaction. Women form relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
I know of women who have seen Art in '84 who still talk to me as if it was released yesterday. So when you touch a woman very deeply and where they actually live, then you forge a lifelong relationship. And that is unpurchasable for a filmmaker. See, first of all, this film has been sourced from a part of my real life. The characters, my mother, my stepmother, my father, were traditional people whom a section prefers to call regressive. Well, that quote-unquote regressive India still exists. If you choose to call them regressive, it's your privilege. But there's nothing progressive about those minds who have been fortunate to be born in a space or in a time frame to look down at these people as regressive. I was never so moved by one of my own films as I was moved by Mohit's complete work. I enjoyed editing the film with him like I never enjoyed any of my films. I watched the films more time than I watched my own film, and I unhesitantly say this film is miles ahead of the films for which people remember me, like Arth, Saransh, Janam, Naam, Daddy, Zakham. This film is miles ahead in its craftsmanship, in its emotional quotient. But I told Mohit that unfortunately they revere old gods more passionately because they want to deny you the place of becoming a god of the times. That has been history.
When you get stuff like this, it's more challenging, but what's more satisfying that you go there scared on the set. You put in everything you have, you put in your heart, and then you come back enriched and energized actually.
Because I think it's not their fault. They've not even listened to them. Because they're so consumed by their own pursuit of pleasure. That is why you're made a bubble here and you're locked yourself away in your world, and you look, the Mecca to you is the West and not the suffering of your own people. This happened to the great Mahesh Bhatt when he made a film called Mother India, which was the first Oscar entry. The Academy members asked, what is the problem of Nargis? We find it comic that she doesn't want to get married to the money lender. They couldn't understand that a woman who has got a husband who is absent, not dead, cannot possibly mentally conceive of tying her destiny to somebody other man. So these women or people who find the emotion of Hamari Adhuri Kahani a comedy, they are no different from the people of the Academy. So is the mindset of America going to control the destiny of billions of people in Saurashtra, in Gujarat, in Bihar, in Punjab? The numbers are screaming out and saying that this particular voice to which you are giving too much importance is an absolute, but I have no problem with that voice. The tyranny is when you choose to amplify that boo and play down the cheers, which is growing like a din on the hour by the hour, because this is a merciless landscape. You very keen to amplify the boo and choose to look away from the cheer, because a success story is something difficult for you to consume. I don't see why this whole obsession is there with a handful of people which do not figure on the radar of the nation. This nation, as I say, has got a divide of a Bharat and an India. There is a huge sea of humanity which you do not want to look. That reaction has consumed us more. We will not be stupid to deny the existence of that small group of people which doesn't find this palatable. But that doesn't mean I should forfeit my right to make the film for the people, I think, who are enjoying it.
I don't think and make films like that. This is not, especially not a film like this. But I also feel when you get into another kind of language and lingo also, I find that also unreal in films. In other films, like you can go the Bombay, I find that also unreal. So I'm not looking at this, and you can't look at films like this especially not films like this, especially when they cater to a particular kind of films. It's like saying arranged marriages don't exist in India. Is that really true? Do we not have religious shadis? I could be whatever, but I've got married in a particular way in Arya Samaj in some way. So I think it's very skewed to look at the film in this way. And I didn't go approaching the film with this thing that I was aware of this or not. I just knew it had its heart in the right place.
As we speak, I just got a message from Nagpur. On Friday 12 noon, your film opened to 16,427. Today is a Monday. It's open to 13,557, which shows your film is fighting fit. This is what I would like to show this to those people, that this is what India is talking. I didn't plan this. If this is not an evidence, because if everything else is PR, this is not PR. This just happened. It just came to me here, and it comes from the exhibitor. And I think that is what makes me mighty pleased.
And I don't think you can fake tears. I don't think there were actors sitting with gliss inside a theatre, and like when I saw them crying or giving me those calls in the middle of the night saying they love their film. My grandmother wouldn't lie to me. Vidya's father would not be lying to us. You can't fake tears. These are not actors. You can fake laughing. You can fake come out and give a really great shot that they watched a great film. No, you can't fake people crying.